Hello everyone, this is Priyanshu Choubey, Assistant Professor of Studies Gyan Bihar University. Today we will talk about the soil taxonomy, property of soil, and also we will talk about how many types are found in India. So let's see soil taxonomy. Uh, Soil taxonomy is a multi-category system, and in such a system which each category contains all members of the population. Higher level categories are more generalized and abstract than the lower level categories. Once the classes are separated at a high category level, these remain separated throughout the lower categories of the system. The classes are mutually exclusive without overlap. The hierarchical system has six categories which can be grouped as a higher category. Higher categories in order, suborder, and grade groups, and these are higher categories. And lower categories, so lower categories, subgroups, family, series. So three lower categories and three are higher categories. The various categories of a soil taxonomy, along with their different characteristics. One of the most important topic here, nomenclature. So the nomenclature used in soil taxonomy is based on the coined word from a Greek or Latin language. The basic principle followed in finding the names are that the name should be easily remembered, suggest some properties of the object, and suggest the place of a taxon in the system. Be as short as possible, be as euphonic as possible, and fit readily in the many languages as possible. So the names of the classification units are combination of in these slides. Each part of the name conveys a concept of soil characters or genesis. For example, for example, arid soil. So arid soil, Latin word aridus means a dry, and solemn soil. The soils of a dry place, vertisoil also a Latin word "verto" means turn, solum, soil, the soil which mm, churn or invert detail information about affirmative elements that their meaning at each category level is available else. Where. First, higher category we will discuss order. Order of affirmative element is subtract from each order. It starts with a first vowel and the and with the last consonant preceding the connecting vowel with a common ending soul. Order 12 types of order. In short form, we can say Awagami house, a compounds word to remember the names based on a morphology, presence or absence of a major diagnostic horizon. Suborders, 68 suborders within a 12 orders are mostly based on soil properties and associated with the moisture and temperature regime. Present material and vegetation. Grade groups are the more than 300 in number and divided based on the presence or absence of a diagnostic horizons and its arrangement and on basis status soil moisturism. If not taken at a suborder level, subgroups are more than a 200. That typic is used as the central concept of the grade groups. Other Others are used to indicates integrates family soil properties most important for a plant growth are used as a differential like structure mineralogy and STR averaged over the control section or solum. Series it is the lowest categories in the system. A collection of a soil uniform in a characterized as a arrangement of soil like color, texture, structure, consistency, pH, and EC. So most useful for making land use plans of the small areas and named as the place where it was first recognized. So when with a connecting O for a Greek or I for a Latin, this affirmative element is used as an ending for all suborder great group and subgroup and family within an order. So suborder consists of two syllables. First is a suggestive of a class and second is the name of the order and grade groups. The name of grade groups are made of prefixing an additional prefix subgroups. These names are the kind of prefixing one more adjective with the grade groups. Uh, Family, texture, mineralogy, class, and temperature resume in order they include into the suborder to coin the family name. Series are named after a town, village, river, and geographic name near where they were first recognized. Jalandhar series and Nabi Bagh series. So in details, made surface a feature like a slope, texture, and stoniness and the gravel calcareousness, which are the important for land use, are given along with the series name of to denote a surface phase. First one is anti salts. Anti salts recently developed mineral soil with no diagnostic horizon and recent low degree of soil developed due to a less time occur in all state of India. So, anti-sol are used of a recent origin. The central concept is a soil developed in the unconsolidated current material with usually to genetic horizon. Horizon except an a horizon, all soils that do not fit into one of the other 11 orders are anti-sol. Thus, they are characterized by the great diversity both in the environmental setting and land use. Many anti-sols are found in steep rocky setting. However, an anti-sol of the large river. So this picture are showing anti-sol soil. Next one, the inceptisol. In inceptisol, what is bring a Latin inceptum means a beginning. So soil in an early stage of development, alteration of parent material to develop structure and structure, variation or color may have one or more diagnostic horizon, cambic, ambic, and molic do not have a argyric horizon found throughout India and are important soils. So, are soils that exhibit a minimal horizon development. They are more developed than anti-soils, but still lack the features that are the characteristics of other soils order. Although not found under a arid climate, Rhizma insectivoles nevertheless are widely distributed and occur across a wide range of the ecological setting. So they are often found on uh, throughout India and are important soil. So these are an insectisol picture. Uh, Next one is alfisol. Alfisol from pedal for or a marble. Uh, Soil development on the stable landscape and the formed under a soil of a humid and subhumid climate. Base rich use soils are greater than 35 base saturated with the clay enriched algeric horizons and evidence of the clay evolutions more strongly weathered than an septisol but less than altisol widely distributed in India. So, algae soil are the moderate leased soils that have a relatively higher native fertility. These soils have mainly formed under a forest and have a subsurface horizon in which clay have accumulated. Algae soils are primarily found in the temperate, humid, and subhumid region of the world. Alfisol occupy 10.1% of the global ice free land areas in the USA and the account of for the 13.9% of the land area. This is the Alfisol picture. Histosol. Histosol, the organic matter reach more than 20% soil with the PT horizon under a permanent water saturated environment and histic epon. Histosol, a Greek word, histos, it means tissue, are a soil that are composed mainly of organic materials. They contain at least 20 to 30% organic matter by weight and are more than 40 centimeter thick, but densities are quite low, often less than a zero point 0.3 gram centimeter cube. Most histosols from in a setting such as wetland where a restricted drainage inhibits the decomposition of a plant and animal remains, allowing these organic materials to. This is a histosol picture. Spodosols, also a Greek word. It means a wood ash. Um, Cool, humid climate with a siliceous parent material and alluvial origin of the saxo oxide and humus formed under wood ash colored alluvial e horizon mainly of a silica spodic horizon not reported in India. So are acid soil characterized by the subsurface accumulation of humus that is complexed with aluminum and iron. These photogenic soils typically uh, from in a porous structure parent materials that have a slight light colored e horizon overlaying reddish brown spodic horizons. The process that forms this horizon is known as podolization. So this is a spodosoil picture. Andisols. Next one is andisols. Andisols from a Japanese word black soil. It means black. Ando Japanese word are soils. Uh, Developed are a volcanic as dark colored soils with a low bulk density, high content of allophane minerals, and thus low bulk density 1 milligram meter cube and the fulfulness, andic properties, easy to cultivate, not reported in India. So our soils are have formed in a volcanic ash or the volcanic ejecta. They differ from those of other orders in that they typically are dominated by a glass and short range order colloidal weathering products such as allophane, hemoglide, and the ferriterite as result. Andisols have andic properties, unique chemical and physical properties that include high water holding capacity and the ability to fix and mark unavailable to plants. So this is a picture of andisol. Molly salts. Next one are molly salts. So molly salts. It's also a Latin word mollis. It means soft, dark-colored bases, rich soils. More than a 50% be saturated, soft, well structured, organic matter rich, epidon, mollic development developed in humid to humid climate under a grass land or a forest vegetation in India occur in the Tarai region of Uttarakhand and some other state are the soil of a grassland ecosystem. They are characterized by a uh, thick, dark surface horizon. And this fertile surface horizon, known as a molicapidon, result from the long-term addition of organic materials divided from plant roots. Mollysols primarily occurs in the middle latitude and are extensive in barrier regions such as Great Plains of the US global. This is a picture of a molly soil. Altisol, it's a Latin word ultimum, it means a last. Base poor soils are humid tropical climate, high rainfall and the temperate mm, al- or so like or a kanjic horizon which with a low base saturation less than 35%. Histosols from a Greek histos, tissues, are soils that are composed mainly for organic materials. They contain at least 20 to 30% organic matter by a weight and are more than a 40 centimeter thick. Bulk density are mm, quite low, often less than zero point 0.3 gram centimeter cube. Most histosols form in settings such as a wetland where a restricted drainage inhibits the decomposition of plants and animals remains, allowing these organic materials to. This is a histosols picture. Spodosols from a Greek sports word as are acid soils characterized by the subsurface accumulation of humus that is complexed with all aluminum and iron. These photogenic soils typically form in coarse textured parent material and have a light colored E horizon overlaying laying or a reddish brown spotted horizon. The process that forms this horizon is known as a pedalization. This is a picture of a spodosols. Andysols from a Japanese Endomensa volcanic. Black soils are soils that have found in a volcanic ash or other volcanic ejecta. They differ from those of other orders in that they typically are dominated by a glass and short range order collider weathering products such as Allophane, Immoglite, and the Fairy Right. As a result, antisols have anodic properties, unique chemical and physical properties that includes a high water holding capacity, the ability to fix and make unavailable to plant. This picture of antisols. Molly soils from a Latin mollis soft or other soils are grassland ecosystem. They are characterized by the thick dark surface horizon. This fertile surface horizon known as a molly capidone result from the long term addition of organic materials divided from a plant roots. Molly soils primarily occurs in the middle latitude and are extensive in barrier regions such as the Great Plains of the USA globally. This picture of a malic soil. Altisols from Latin ultimus, last, are strongly leached acid forest soils with a relatively low native fertility. They are found primarily in a humid temperate or tropical areas of the world, typically on older stable landscapes. Intense weathering of a primary mineral such as occurred and much calcium, magnesium, and potassium has been released from these soils. Altisoils have a surface horizon in which clays have accumulated, often with a strong yellowish or reddish color resulting from the. Uh, so this is a altisols picture. Aridisols, word bring a Latin word aridus means a dry or calcium carbonate connecting soils of a arid region that exhibit at least some subsurface horizons development. They are characterized by being dry most of the year and limited glitching. Arid soil contain subsurface horizon in which clays, calcium carbonate, silica, salts, and or gypsum have accumulated materials such as soluble salts, gypsums, and calcium carbonate tend to be leached from soils of moisture climates. This picture of arid soils. Vertisols, from a Latin word to turn, are a clay-rich soils that shrink and as well which with a changed in a moisture content during a dry periods. The soil volume shrinks and deep wide cracks from the soil's volume and then expands as it wets up. The shrink spell action creates a serious engineering problem and generally prevents the formation of a distinct developed horizon in these soils. Globally, vertisols occupy 2.4% of the ice-free and area in the USA they occupy 2.0%. Oxysols from French oxide are a very highly weathered soils that are found primarily in the intertropical region of the world. This soil contains few valuable minerals and are often rich in which the soil aluminum oxide minerals. Oxysols occupy 7.5% of the global ice-free land area. In the USA, they only occupy 0.02% of the land and are restricted to Hawaii. The world reference basis of fossil resources. Soil of India. India has a total geographical areas of 3.28 .79 million hectare. The country exhibits a great diversity in a physiographic and it influences the climate and vegetation. The climate and vegetation influence the globally formation of igneous sedimentary metamorphic rocks acting in the country. This resulted in development of different types of parent materials and finally the soil thus difference in dominating soils forming factors and causes resulted in the development of the wide varieties of the soil in the country. The major soils of India can be grouped as well alluvial, black, red, laterite, and latic, and desert soil. The salt affected soil are represented in some of the above major soil groups in terms of the soil taxonomy. The key out of seven order 23 subgroups and 75 grade groups and 250 subgroups and 1247 families. This since major soils of India alluvial soil divided from the alluvial deposit occupy about 113 million hectare in the Indo-Gangetic plains, in Brahmaputra valleys and coastal areas distributed in Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Bihar, West Bengal, Assam, and East and West coast. Alluvial soils are rich in plant nutrient but deficient in organic carbon and nitrogen classified as empty salts and insecti salts, sulfy salts and arid salts as per taxonomy. Black soils and black cotton soils. The very uh, dark cracking dry clay dominated soils locally called a rugger. Rugger center India. Mm, Kerala, UP and Bahal, Gujarat, developed from a weathered alluvium of a Deccan basalt and basic parent material under a arid, semi-arid and humid climate. Occupy in about 50 million hectare occur in Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh. Gujarat, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh and some parts of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Swell then wet and shrink and dry developing deep white cracks and the silken side and a subsurface layer. High clay varying from 30 to 60% high at an exchange capacity 30 to 50% kg per inverse and the base rich calcareous and pH varies from 7.5 to 9.5. Lack occurs is due to clay humus complex and presence of the titanium ferrous magnetite minerals, inherently fertile but problem in workability and development of a subsoil sodicity in some pockets. So classified as a vertisoil and vertic integrates subgroups and insectisols and alphisols. Red soils Red soil occupy about 8.5 million hectare in state Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, Goa, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, and eastern and northeastern region of Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Assam, and Uttar Pradesh. Shallow of a very deep, well-drained soil and found in semi-arid, warm, humid tropical climate. Developed from crystalline granites and metamorphic rocks like Genesis and the sits. Uh, Archaic periods. The color due to a coating of a ferric oxide soil particles rather than a high iron content. Red when oxide in anhydrides, hematites, and yellow when the hydride lamonite slightly acidic and slightly alkaline low cation exchange capacity base saturation low than a black and alluvial soil but more than a laterite than a lateric soil poor in organic carbon and nitrogen phosphorus and response well in potassium management classified as alphisol, altisol, antisol, and then subtisol. Laterite and latic soils formed by a lateralization process, alkali hydrolysis, uh, Botchan and in 1807 British geographer first coined the word laterite. It means a brick red for a highly uh, ferruginous vesicular deposit from found in a Marble Hills, Kerala. Formed in the tropical and subtropical climate, alternate wet and dry season. Uh, Occur in about 18 million hectares in the southern state, western Ghat and Maharashtra, Orissa, some parts of the West Bengal and Northeast region. These soils are red in color, very deep, 5 YR to 0.25 are very deep, high clay content, acidic 0. Less than 6.0 with a low cation exchange capacity and this saturation 20 to 40% deficiency in almost all nutrient but can be managed well. Liming is essential for a better crops. Taxonomically classified as altisol and alphisol, true laterite and equivalent of oxysols in a soil taxonomy. Our oxysols are not found in India, uh, despite all the favorable condition for its formation. Acidic nature of soil does not allow desalications and therefore a formation of oxysol from altisols as proposed in a soil genesis model is not true. Salt affected soil occur in arid and semi-arid climate. Less than 8.50 mm rainfall and occupy about 6.74 million hectare. Distribute almost except the northeast region. A major part of mm, IGP and part of the coastal areas are saline. Major characteristics of identify are soil character pH in a saline soil. Uh, pH in a saline soil is less than 8.5 and the electrical conductivity more than 4 and exchangeable sodium percentage less than 15 and mm, SAR less than 13. Salinity due to chlorides and sulfides of sodium, calcium, magnesium, and salts are developed from weathering groundwater, irrigation water, and sea. In a dry season, soil solution concentrates and causes a precipitation of the carbonates. This calcium carbonate precipitate pathogenic carbonates increase SAR and ESP and pH in soil. Cultivated of a soil tolerance crop like salt tolerance crop like rice, wheat, sugarcane, barley, oats, cotton, etc. And a variety of grass like kernel grass and lavender grass, leaching off the salts and with good quality water along with the adequate drained network of removal of leached water in the practice for reclamation. Sodic soils are reclaimed via gypsum application. Sodic drainage in the major problem due to a dispersion of the clay and the clogging of soil pores. Classify as alphy soil and septic soil, ST soils, and the muddy soil. Desert soil. So these are soil the arid climate, both hot and cold, occupy about 26.3 million hectares in the western part of Rajasthan, Gujarat, and Haryana, Punjab also. So cold and arid soil occurs in Leh, Ladakh region and Jammu Kashmir. In a hot, dry desert, yellow line action drawn by a wind carries sand and deposit in the direction of a wind to form a thick sandy surface. Light soil with less than 10% clay and very less profile development. Moderate to strongly alkaline pH 7.9 to 9.0. Low in organic matter, high in salt and the calcareous. Low in the nutrient and the water rotation capacity in the Donal Valley are cultivated for meals and the pulses, malts and pulses. Sugar canals, irrigation soil in Rajasthan are cultivated for many crops classified as arid soil and insectic soil. So forest and hilly soil. This soil are developed under Forest soil found in Himachal, Jammu, Kashmir, Uttarakhand, Madhya Pradesh, Kerala, and northeast region, Andhra, Andaman, Nicobar. Soils in a cool climate under a coniferous forest and Himalaya are strongly acidic, high organic carbon, moderate high in the clay, base saturated and classified as alphy soil, and septic soil. Uh, Brown forest soil under a subhumid and humid climate are natural neutral to slight acidic rich in organic carbon, moderate cation exchange capacity 15 to 25 and less than a 60 more than a 60% base saturated and classified under molly salts and septic salts and anti salts. Pit and the marshy soil developed under the humid climate and occur all localized pocket on a Kerala and eastern region of tidal pumps high amount of organic matter and with presence of pyrites generally submerged but sulfuric acid is formed when oxidized and soil becomes extremely acidic. Um These soils are called as acid sulfide soils or cat clays. Saline pit soils in Kerala are called kari soil. Keeping water table above pyrite layers dries grown successfully. Marshy soil are formed in the tidal swamps in the West Bengal, coastal areas of Odisha, Tamil Nadu, and Goa with mangroves vegetation.